Hey, this is Scott. Um, Getting back to some of my R videos, I just want to start with some very basic things. So, I'm going to call this Practical Machine Learning with R, and I'm going to go through R Studio and kind of an introduction to R. And so, this will be the first lab that I'm doing. And so, let's look at some basic commands. So here's RStudio, the upper left-hand pane. Hopefully you can see my cursor. These are comments started with a hashtag, right? Everything that comes out in green. Now I'm going to be holding down the control key and hitting enter, and I'm going to execute these commands one at a time. So right now I'm going to create a variable called x with 4 values here. And so if I hit Control Enter, you'll see that. I can also, it's been so long, it's been a long time since I've done it, but if I highlight this, I think I can go in, and I know there's a way that I can execute this one line at a time, but anyway, it's so much easier just to hold the control key and then hit enter. So what that does is now it confirms what I had put in this variable x. So it's a vector of 1, 3, 2, 5, or a list of 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 3, 2, 5. And then I'm going to create another one. Now notice here in the upper command, it's an assignment operator here. So, you know, the less than and then a dash. This next one is another way to do it. Now, this first way that I did it is actually preferred, right? So that's the assignment operator, or you can use equal, but it's best practices to use the first one. So now I have two x assignments, and actually those are two different variables. So if I hit Control Enter here, then I get 162, and so they are two, again, both of them are assigned to X, but there's actually two of them that exist in my workspace right now. Now I'm going to do Y. So I've now got three variables, and I can look at Y, 1, 4, 3. All right. So another list or vector here. Now I can do addition, vector addition, right? So now notice what it did. It picked the two variables that had an agreement upon the number of entries in them. And so 1 plus 1 is 2, 6 plus 4 is 10, and 3 plus 2 is 5. Now, the length will give me the number, right? So there's 3 in this one. There's 3 in Y. And so that's that. And again, 2, 10, 5. You can also put a comment to the right. So here I have a hashtag, list all the variables. So I'm telling you on the command, on the line itself, what this is doing. So it's listing all the objects present in the current working directory. So ls. So there is an x and a y here. I can also remove objects. So if I do that, rm, x and y, it will remove those, and then I get this when I again list all the objects, then it returns character 0 because there's none, because I just removed the 2. Also, you can do that at the same time, right? So remove list ls, and so it executed that as well. Now, if I start something with a question mark and hit matrix, for example, you'll notice in the lower right-hand panel, what happened was help came back with this dialog to explain what the matrix function actually does. Okay, so now let's play with some matrices, and if I hit Control Enter here, notice this is I'm assigning with a matrix function data 1, 2, 3, 4. Number of rows is 2, number of columns is 2, and by default this assigns it by column. So let's look at that. What that means is it's going to, I'm going to go ahead and execute this so you can look at it in the bottom left. What happened is it filled by column 1, 2, and since I only had 2 by 2, then it's going to start the next column with 3, 4. All right, so this is by column. So it fills from the top left down, and then depending on the number of columns and rows that I assign, it'll fill that out. Now, this next one, what I'm going to do is I don't, in this next command, I do this exact same thing, but I'm not explicit in my number of rows and number of columns like I was up above, right? So if you can see my cursor there, I actually defined it very explicitly. Shorthand is not to do that. You just basically put in 2, 2. All right. So what if I wanted to do it by rows? Now what this is going to do is it's going to peel off and go row by row. So with that, down over here, I have by row equal true. So executing that and then going, well, hang on. Okay. Let me just throw something in here real quick. Now I'm going to throw in X and we'll look at that. So, well, shoot. Okay. Let me do something real quick. All right, so now I'm going to assign this to X where by row is true. And if we look at this, now, if you'll notice in the bottom left panel here, I'm actually getting, now the column is 1, 3, 2, 4 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what that did when I put this little by row equal true, is it started filling from top to bottom versus left to right. Now I can also do square root. So if I hit square root, it'll take the square root of that element wise in that matrix, right? So the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 2 is 1.4. The square root of 3 is 1.7, and the square root of 4 is 2. So that's that. Or you can do exponentiation. I can do the square. So x to the 2 power, and then I get 1496 there in that matrix. I can also create normal variables. So this is going to create a standard normal. Standard normal is mean 0, standard deviation 1. And I'm going to assign 50 values into X with a random normal. So doing that, we could look at that. Let me just do X, and then we get 50 standard normal variables. Also, I could do a translation. So I could do an X, and so I'm going to take the existing X, and then I'm going to translate that with a mean of 50 now, right? So it's not standard normal with mean 0, 1. It's actually a mean of 50, standard deviation of 0.1. I'm going to do that. And so I like to look at things just to see what they're like. And then that new one on the bottom left panel looks like that. What's the correlation between X and Y? Almost 100%. So 99.5% there. I can also create seeds so that when I reproduce this, it will be reproducible with the same. So I'm going to set seed to this 1303, create a new norm of 50, and that's what I get there. All right. Or set seed 3, and I can create a y variable or vector with 100, and that's what I get. I can create functions. The mean or the average is just simply mean of y, and that's going to be 0.011. And the variance of y, just var. So that's the function for the variance. Obviously, the square root of the variance is the standard deviation, which is 0.8560768. Or I can use SD, which is the formula for standard deviation. Should give me the exact same value. Okay, now let's look at some quick graphics. All right, so let me scroll down a little bit. Now we're going to create just some random numbers based on normal distribution for x and y, and then we're going to plot them, and that should be a cloud in the upper, the lower right. I get a cloud, and it should be just random across the x and y values. I can also use this, and this will give me a title, and everything to it. It's going to be color blue, etc. So rather than explain every simple thing, you can go back and reproduce this on your own. Obviously, I hope that you do. You can create, and you can create a PDF of that if you'd like, and that will be saved into your current workspace. You can plot X and Y with green, and then once we execute that, whoops, I'm not sure why that didn't come out. By the way, you can go back and forth by scrolling through. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to take time to. Maybe I'll do a follow-up for that. Okay. Anyway, X is a sequence 1 to 10. So if we looked at X, that's 1 through 10. That's how you produce an array or a sequence of 1 to 10. Another way to do it is this. So if I were to look at X that way, same thing. If I were to assign X into Y, right, transfer one variable into another, and then I can do all kinds of other things. I'm not sure if I want to do all of this. We'll see. I'll make these videos very short. I'm kind of going along here. But this gives you an idea of a plot right here. So of what you can do with, creating a function, and you can do a contour. This is a contour plot. So each one of those lines is a level higher level. And so it's a three-dimensional contour plot. Just to give you an idea. I mean, the graphics in R are wonderful. This is another surface plot here. By the way, ggplot2 is a wonderful package. And I've got some videos actually on ggplot2. Just check my channel for that. Let's see. What else do I have here? Let's see. Indexing some data. I've got using this matrix function. And then if we look at that, then we have a 4x4 A. If I try to pick out values of this is going to go down to the second row, third value across. So it should produce 10. All right. if I want to pick out the 1, 3, which would be the first column, third value, and the second column, fourth value, then I can do that. That's going to pull that range, right? So again, it's 1 from the first column to the third value, and then 2 to 4. So the second column, fourth value. And then this is the the first and second row all the way to the end is what that does. The first and second value all the way to the end. This will be the only the first. This will be this will be the first and second column here. This should be the very first row. All right. And this is, I'm trying to remember, I'm having a memory gap here. It's been a long time since I've actually looked at this code. So this is 1 through 3. So if I go down here, 1 and 3. Oops. Ooh. Well, I don't want to mess up what we've done so far. Okay, I'll let you play with it and figure that out. And then if this is dimensions here, so it'll give you the dimensions of the matrix, which is, again, as we said early on, it's a 4x4. Okay, so another way to load data. This is a way to, I just don't think I have the table here in this particular directory, but this is the way you do it. This is read table. This is just a CSV file. Maybe I'll follow up with another one. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I will that's enough for this one, because I need to be sure this table's here, but that gives you an idea of some of the functions available in R. Next time we're actually going to be reading in a file. We'll be exploring that file in the next video. So hopefully this was useful, and I look forward to seeing you next time.